Hey guys, and welcome to Stock Talk on April 25th. It's currently 4:01 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that there is a current course under development that I'm developing to help you guys with the trading strategies, how to put in the indicators, how to analyze these indicators, how to use best practices to make best trading decisions. And then also, there's content videos for you guys to check out. So let's get started on the 180-day on the SPY using the Think or Swim platform. Now, SPY does track the S&P 500, and yesterday we left off seeing this massive downtrend, right? And let's zoom in on this area, and we saw these two candles, but we saw this candle which touched a support. The support is situated at 261.49. Why is that the support? Well, looking at the 1 year chart for SPY, you can see that whenever we gapped up from this day to that day, the market didn't get to actively trade, right, from here to here, and this is probably why we found support around this area yesterday. Now today, remember I told you guys it was more of a watch and see scenario to see if we would surely test the support, and we did. But were we going to reverse or were we going to keep going down? That was the question to be answered today. So the markets, looking at today's candle, tested the low once again. Once again, it bounced up and it actually closed higher than this candle opened. See, the markets actually did pretty good. Is this the reversal signal? Well, it's surely a pretty strong signal telling us that this is the bottom right now. Doesn't mean that tomorrow it's going to go straight up, right? It could still come down and retest the support. Maybe it could even do a double bottom, right? And you guys, let's take a look at the 180-day chart. And let me show you. See this double bottom, guys? Like, it's possible. See this? Some sort of double bottom over here. We may have formed a double bottom. You guys can see this double bottom, but it won't be completely surprising if we see it retest the bottom again. Now, it does look at this time that we have found a nice reversal area, although you guys can see that we have surged to pretty much the middle of where we broke down. Now, this is why we need to be a little cautious, because we weren't able to pull all the way up. Yes, we formed a pretty nice candle on the 1 year chart, but we weren't able to pull all the way up to cover the losses. We only covered to the middle, which is why we want to be cautious, because you looking at the 180-day trend, you can easily argue that, okay, we're just trying to get to the 20 EMA and test that out before we continue our fall. Okay, it could do something like this, where it comes down, tests the 20 EMA, gets rejected, does a double bottom, this time more definitive, and then we go up, right? That's the most probable scenario. Of course, the scenario of it now going straight up is more likely, sure, but the more probable scenario is we'll see some resistance near the 20 EMA, and as we go into tomorrow, this is another wait and see situation. So if you guys did buy in near the bottom as it was pulling up today, looking at the 1 minute chart, where could you have bought in to SPY today? Just ask yourself, where could you have bought in? Well, you could have bought in around here, right? Why this area? Well, you guys can see that at this point, it dropped below its support, right? But the support is somewhere near there. It doesn't have to be exactly like 260.85. It's somewhere around there. Dropped to the support, came up, dropped, didn't go as previous low, came up, dropped, didn't go as low as the previous low, and then came up. At that point, you can take a sure bet that if you bought in at above this green candle over here, that you would be setting a tight stop loss, right? Let's say down here, but your gain would be substantial should the reversal occur today, right? So yeah, so this is just something to watch out for. Those are the two scenarios that I'm exploring right now. All right, let's take a look at TQQQ. Now, this is one that is really interesting because TQQQ struggled most of the day to climb. And you guys can see that it was struggling even when SPY was climbing even significantly. The NASDAQ was kind of teeter-tottering in the middle. But in the end, we did end up 0.4% higher. just note that if this is a reversal, this is a great ETF to go to. So this is something to watch and see in the next few days, especially tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look at TVIX, which tracks volatility. Of course, this moves in inverse of the markets, generally speaking, not all the time, I feel like, but generally speaking, you can see that we pulled yesterday. We pulled a really nice, what is this, guys? A tail candle, right? We kind of cover this gap today, but we formed a pretty dominant reversal candle on the VIX that shows that we've gotten to the top in terms of the VIX, and that the markets might be due for a reversal. So these are all very interesting things to take a look at. Let's talk about crude oil. So /CL follows crude oil futures. Here's crude oil on the 180-day chart. Higher highs, higher lows. We identified a support at 67.68. And what happened? Remember yesterday I told you guys, if we see a red candle that breaks under, so this is not breaking under the support, but if we see another candle that forms under this candle and it starts breaking under, then we can say that that probably has broken its support. This is not a break of support, right? Because it never showed the two candle situation. So what does that say about crude oil? Still bullish, right? I have not changed my stance. This has been the stance for like the past week. So looking at crude oil, especially because yes, crude oil follows SPSIOP. Yes, I know that. But also, you can see that as markets tend to recover, Gush moves higher, right? Regardless, there is some sort of correlation that's occurring right now. So looking at that correlation, we can take a look at Gush, and this is Gush that follows oil and gas. So as crude oil /CL is going up, Gush is going up. We can see that Gush has been making this double peak, but what's occurring today? Well, we're retesting the resistance area. Note that we talked about the 3-year high on Gush yesterday. So this is a 3-year chart moving from peak to peak to peak. We would understand why we can't break over $32. If we can get a daily close over $32, this is a very bullish sign for crude oil. And this is the type of entry that I would be looking for. Did we close over $32 today? We closed just at $31.99. So what do you guys think? It wasn't a coincidence that happened, right? Because we've been talking about this number for a while. So yeah, one thing to take a note is looking at the 180-day chart. We do see a double peak here. We are seeing a double peak formation here, even though we're coming up again. Okay, just something to watch. But I still do feel that crude oil is bullish for the time being, and that it has a good chance of still crossing and closing over $32. That hasn't changed. And this is also based off analysis of drip. So drip is the inverse of Gush. As Gush is moving up, drip is going down. Everyone's still talking about, for some reason, I'm in drip right now. I made this. Well, yeah, I think it's pretty skillful if you can make some money off of drip, because drip is heading downwards, and if you can make money on drip, not bad. But the odds aren't really with you in terms of drip. Looking at drip, we talked about these boxes, which represent every time a breakdown of the support occurs on the 1-year chart, we see a continual downward trend. Break of the support, continual downward trend. Break of the support, continual downward trend. This is the new support. And everyone's asking, well, look, guys, we're consolidating right here. But then I can argue, look, guys, we consolidated over here. And then what happened? We kept going lower, right? So this can easily go lower, just based off of previous trends. This consolidation, yes, I can call that consolidation. But look at the 20 EMA line. It's still very far away. And yesterday I said, what happens when drip goes over 20 EMA? Right, am I going to buy in? I actually said I might buy in, but look at this. When it's consolidating, drip goes over the 20 EMA. Even then, it couldn't hold above, and it came down, right? So this is not something that I would actively watch. Like, you guys know that when something's declining, this is not something you would go into, and this is obviously something that's declining, right? So if you want to take your chances, if you have no, experience trading stocks, first you should do paper trading. But if you really wanted to get in something, just go into Gush and see what happens. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about a couple of tickers that I'm currently looking at. Okay, so LABU, once again, we're going to LABU to look at crude oil. Not crude oil, biotech. So here's LABU, and looking at this trend, we know that there's a support at $67, $68 around there, and that we are getting close. We've had this sell-off, right? Kind of follow the markets. We've had this sell-off. Are we near the bottom? Surely we are near the bottom. Are we at the bottom? Not yet. So you guys can just place your, this is just something to watch. Don't invest in it now, but like as it does start reversing, going back up, this is something that you could buy into potentially, right? And the margin for profit is actually pretty great. It's like 10% or more if you were going to LABU. Okay, so another one I'm looking at is WYNN, WYNN, and I have no clue why Drip is here. WYNN is over here. So this is WYNN, right? We talked about WYNN quite a while ago when it was consolidating in this area, and we said that this was a great buy point, especially if it falls toward the support. What's really interesting now is earnings came out, and then we had a steady decline. Okay, is this something that we should go into right now? No, but based off of previous trends, we know that this stock can recover at the very least. It can start recovering. We need to see a bottom, right? And perhaps some consolidation. This might take a couple days, maybe a week. And at that point, invest when it starts moving up. This is something to watch because my alert popped up saying WYNN dropped under 184. So that was pretty interesting. Just want to show you guys. And last one is NVDA. Now, NVDA dropped to, I think, 210 today. Did it drop to 210? I think it dropped to 210. Yeah, it dropped to 210, 210.30 today before it got popped up. So, this is another one to watch, right? Almost every stock has formed these candle patterns. I think WYNN also did form that pattern today. It's just following the markets. But you can see that NVIDIA is once again at this support area, right? Where's the support? The support is at 216.49. Another watch and see kind of stock right now. Okay. Just note that when it does climb, we have earnings coming up. We have the 200 SMA acting as a resistance here. Just be cautious what happens in the next few days if you do decide to go into NVIDIA. But there's no confirmation of uptrend yet. Are we going to go into it? No. This is just another one to watch and see. Okay. You guys called out a couple of others, so let's tackle them right now. ZNGG. ZNGG. That's weird. Okay. That's not a ticker. So TELL. I think you guys wanted me to take a look at that one. So TELL. Let's take a look. We see a peak formation. We are so far overstretched over the 20 EMA. Yeah. We're so far stretched over the 20 EMA. You guys can just imagine. Look when we're so far stretched over the 20 EMA, right? Even if it goes a little higher, this was near the peak. See this area? And then starts consolidating left to right. I like this pattern for sure. It's a little overextended over the 20 EMA line. So yeah, this is something to watch. I want to see what happens when it starts going under $9.17. Let me set an alert when it goes under. You guys can see that when it does fall, it falls very quickly. So we don't want to be caught in the trap where we're near the peak. Look at this, right? Overstretched over the 20 EMA and then started the decline. Right now, we're pretty overstretched over the 20 EMA. I could almost place a good bet that even if it goes higher, it won't go higher that much. And that a short sell opportunity may be presenting for this stock soon. I know it went up 6.3% today. Looking at the 180-day chart. Let's see. Yep. Yep. You guys can see that when it starts coming down and then moves back up and tries to attempt a high again, gets rejected and comes back down. You know, this might be doing something of the similar. So if you were to, I think if you got in right now, it's a little too late in the game. I would have liked it when we got in where? Well, when we actually saw this, right? When we got really close to the 20 EMA and then we got pushed up, this is a good entry point right here. I don't like this entry point at all. This is a little dangerous right here. Let's take a look at the support. I like the stock. I mean, the pattern is, you know, pretty nice. Yeah, so you guys can see the support has been around here. So what does that mean? It might act as a support this time, but it really depends on what happens. See? So there it is. So you guys can see that at some point, this is not a support at all. It just goes straight down, right? So this can't, like, we can't rely on this to be an active support. It could easily come down just like this. But this is just something to note. Actually, this is probably not a very good line. Let's set this line like so. Just to say that there was a support here at some point. Come on. There you go. All right. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked the analysis. Like if you like this video. If you didn't like it, I hope you like it in the future. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow, Thursday, for another market analysis. Later.